Hello everyone. Today we're finally talking about last year's Fallout 76. So, to be honest, I'm kind of happy in a way that Fallout 76 came out before I talked about this, to be honest, because there's a lot of interesting parallels that make Fallout 76 even look sad all about. And whenever I get around doing a video on that, oh boy. Anywho, let us get a very simple thing right out of the gate. If you're a Metal Gear fan for the story, the lore, the characters, the conspiracies, pass. If you're into survival, zombies, and crafting, maybe. That's the simplest way of putting it. If you're just a Metal Gear person, I wouldn't care about this unless you're that type person like me that's like, well, I like Resident Evil, but, this one's bad and this one's bad, but, I want to play them all and own them all and blah, blah, blah and that. And that's really the only reason to get this as a Metal Gear person, just because it's Metal Gear, and I wouldn't pay a lot for it. But as a survival game, there were some interesting ideas, but I feel like they're held back because the Metal Gear branding itself versus being able to branch out into a new IP or something. So, obviously, for one thing, there was a lot of similar parallels because this is also an asset flip like Fallout 76. It's crafting, survival, eating, drinking, and all that kind of crap. Base building. A lot of similarities in that way. But, Fallout 76 was a bug mess where you could dupe, find ways to carry infinite amount of shit, and it was just a freaking horrible, unbalanced marketplace of insanity. I have to give some credit to Metal Gear Survive for being a functional game, obviously. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's all rainbow and sunshines. It does have a cash shop system to do things. I've never really went on it. I do know you have to use it to get an extra save slot, but I don't know why you would want a second character really unless you're sharing your console and the person for some reason doesn't have their own profile. But, so Metal Gear Survive is non-canon and takes place between Ground Zeroes and Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. It takes place at the end portion of Ground Zeroes where the base is being blown up and shit, and you play as one of the soldiers. After everything went to shit, you get found, claimed to be dead, but you're actually not, but you're gonna die because you're like infected with some weird shit, and you get sent to some parallel dimension, and you're just left to survive. Now, you'll meet other characters in this bizarre dimension with these weird crystal head zombies and shit. Establish a base, start crafting, cooking, trying to survive, work together and shit. And I'd say the first half of the game is probably the best part of the game, introducing all the elements in that. And then all the potential, all the survival potential this game had comes crashing down from the midpoint to the end, because all the, for example, the base building. The base building is pretty interesting. You get a plot of land, you get to build guns, fences, sandbags, crafting stations, towers, different things of means of defense and functionality, and lay them all out while you can get attacked in certain missions throughout the story. But those are the only times you can get attacked aside from the digging minigame. At a certain portion of the game, you'll get a digger machine that allows you to harvest energy at your base, but it causes the Wanderer enemies to come at your base, and that's the only other time your base gets attacked besides story moments. So once the story's done, and you could just keep going on forever and ever, the digger missions are the only time your base will ever be attacked, making the base building kinda obsolete at that point. You just need the stuff to survive, not the defense at that point. But besides the common sense things that you would probably be familiar with, materials to make stuff, with food and water, cooking and that, one of the unique things to use in this game is keyboard energy. Keyboard energy is a unique energy that's only in this dimension, and you collect it from crystals, from the enemies, and you can get as resource rewards from different things too. And it's used in just pretty much everything: crafting, making, leveling up. Yes, there is a leveling system. And oddly enough, they locked out half the leveling system until after you do the story mode, where you'll get access to subclasses that can have other functionalities, which is a bit of an odd thing to do. I mean, I can't imagine too many people went out of their way to keep playing after, because essentially all you get left after the story is super bosses, so not really much going on there. So, being an asset flip of Metal Gear Solid 5, if you played the Phantom Pain, you will be very familiar with the mechanics. The only big differences are repairing. You have gear, melee weapons, and a few other interesting items unique to this, but a lot of functionality is similar. While guns are in the game and you can make ammo, in the early game they are scarce and not as easy to make. But in the late game, you can get a lot more access for guns. But a lot of times, you'll make better use of a bow when it comes to range, especially since you can actually recover the arrows, thus reload. So, in some ways, a bow and arrow can actually be more lethal in a way. But, I mean, essentially a gun, in most cases, is going to be super lethal. You're just not going to have as much ammo on you, because once you already get So, your bread and butter is going to be really your melee weapon and your bow, with a shotgun or some type of guns as extra holy shit moments. I mean, in the late game, I made use of an elemental gun, and you do get elemental effects. You can attach fire and electricity and such. And I found electricity shotgun pretty good. And if you like playing with people, there is a co-op mode, but it's not story-based or anything in that aspect. It is just little missions where you defend the digger on different parts of the map in a closed-out portion of a... It is an actual area in your game world, but it's locked out from the rest of the world in that co-op session and you just go through that, and you can get Kibo LNG materials, and a lot of times some really OP plans. A lot of my weapon plans came from the co-op missions, to be honest. But overall, it gets pretty much repetitive. I would just do it to get stuff for your single player, really. And I'm not even sure how many people really play it anymore. I mean, last time I was playing, you still found people playing it. I don't know about nowadays, It's years came and gone, and, other people probably moved on to that. But, as for anything else, if I was to compare it to Fallout 76, they did a lot of stuff better. You don't have a capacity at your base. You only have a capacity on yourself, and all you have to do is go back to your base, and it auto-unloads all your materials and shit into your base, and you can have them processed and everything and that. So, honestly, I feel like a lot of things were actually done way better in this game compared to Fallout 7. That's a running theme here. Oh my goodness, this game's actually better because Fallout 76 was really bad, damn it. I guess on the upside, I could say it's not really long. I'm actually kind of surprised how short it was. Maybe it was just expecting people to die a lot. I don't know. Which is why I think the cash shop thing's kind of a weird idea. Though, again, I don't even know what kind of stuff you even buy with the currency crap. I never even looked at it, like I said. Like I see it. Like I should. overall, the biggest things I'm disappointed with this game is this could have been Konami's. Let's make a new like Hideo Kojima is gone, whatever drama or crap you want to blame who or what or that. This is our opportunity to make a new IP, to make a new strive something out there away from Hideo Kojima and shit. And nope, we need to hold off the Metal Gear license. And I don't know, like I can tell you, like, I talked to Pixie before, and I'm like, I don't know, like, if it had to be attached to something Konami owns, as much as I'm sure Silent Hill fans would just be as equally what the fuck, I could at least see people surviving in the streets of Silent Hill and, like, boarding up houses and shit as a more realistic concept than fucking adding zombies and shit to Metal Gear. But I think it just would have been better to be a new IP, not to be anchored by Metal Gear. And they could have tried out a lot more, because I think there are some really good ideas here. It would have been cool to actually be able to play through the story with co-op. It would have been nice if there was more to your base, like Wanderers could actually come to your base and non-story event things, and just, it'd be like, your base is under attack, and if you don't have good defenses, like, oh, I better get back real quick and that, make sure they don't fucking all blow up and shit. But I think the most horrible thing, which is the same thing Fallout 76 suffers, is that this game is online only. There's literally no reason for this game to be online only. Very seriously, there's literally no reason. Because the story mission isn't, the stories, the outside the co-op missions, there's no open world co-op or anything. You just get thrown into the lobby, pick a map thing, and you go into that small little closed map area, do the thing, and then you get kicked out. You either do it again or you go back to your main game and that. Like, it's no reason at all for fucking this to be an online only game. So that's honestly, and that is one of the big reasons I would never recommend anyone buying this for a lot of money. I think I got it for like $20 on a Amazon sale, way after I got slammed and everything by everyone. As a survival game, it's not horrible. It's short, and a lot of the mechanics don't feel like they get used too much. But there are a lot of interesting ideas, and I feel like this was a way wasted potential by Konami to move away from Metal Gear and to do something else. Because, Metal Gear's dead, Castlevania's dead. I mean, and what else have they even really done lately at all besides that? I mean, they have ownership of other things like Contra and things, but the last Contra game was an original DS game that's really old now? I mean, they have not really been making use of many things they own. And then, of course, they own everything Hudson Soft basically did, because they bought Hudson Soft. So, yeah, there's the Bomberman game. They got the new Bomberman game. Yeah, they did that with the Hudson Soft. Yeah, the point made. They need some new stuff if they're not going to really do some of the old shit. And I don't see any point latching on to Metal Gear. I would be surprised if they continue Metal Gear, because unless somebody can tell me Metal Gear Survive really sold well somehow. I mean, wasn't it originally a $49 game on launch? So, but I know at this point in time, brand new wise, you can get for $19.99. I would probably get a used copy. I think like Redbox machines, if you have any of them that actually sell the game, I think they went down to like $10 and shit. And I'm sure there's like third-party people and other pawn shops and things. You could probably find them cheap at that. But I would try to get around $15 if you're interested in it, in its survival aspect. But as a Metal Gear person, just don't bother unless you have to have the complete every Metal Gear experience for whatever reason. That's my only real thing. But to get into the spoiler territory of what the fuck about the story, so you go through surviving and shit, and you find out that it's not a parallel dimension, it's actually a time loop, and you're in the future. The future. Yes, you're in the future, and the world obviously does not look very positive. Apparently the Lord of Dust thing you get to see at certain portions of the game, they're not very good. Basically, it keeps going back to the past and destroys everything, absorbs energy, destroys the world, and does it again and again and again. So the characters basically destroy it, create themselves as an alternate dimension, and thus save the world from the time loop while being left trapped in the bleak future that no longer is part of the new timeline. So, and from there you just get to fight super bosses, run around through the deadly fog and make new base areas that you can teleport to and rescue more people for your base. I mean, the base, like, I like the whole idea about the base, but it's like, so, like, I only had 6 people at my base and I finished the storyline. Like, I never even got a full crew like in Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. I never even got a full team to go and do shit. It's just really fucking ridiculous. So much wasted potential in this game. It's not the worst thing I played in the universe, but it certainly isn't the best thing. The survivability, the potential, those are the things that make it interesting. But as a Metal Gear game, it fails terribly. So terribly. Anywho, if you feel like you learned anything interesting here, please feel free to leave a like. And if you feel like you learned nothing, or this game is so heavenly you have to leave a dislike, feel free to do that again. And please leave a comment down below if you have any questions or wish to comment on this atrocity, or if you want to say it's okay. I honestly, I think it's okay, but like I said, I've played far worse things. It functions. I didn't experience any bugs or anything of that. Like I said, it's a very copy and paste of Metal Gear Solid 5. And at least they were successful in that. And like Fallout 76, which was a copy and paste of Fallout 4, and it was done terribly. So at least Konami has that going for the legacy of this game. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Anyway, I'm returning back to the Proving Grounds. I got a backlog to mess with here. And I hope you all have a lovely day.
どうだった？私の作ったあっさ